Welcome to Telugu One Academy. Friends, today we will be learning about linkages of organized crime with terrorism part 2. In the previous part, we have learnt about what exactly is organized crime, what are the types of organized crime and its characteristics also and its basic effects. Now in this slide, we will learn why exactly is it hard to eliminate the organized crime. Okay, what are the natures of organized crime which are making it hard to eliminate, and we'll also learn what are the national and international initiatives and also legal provisions which are there to fight the organized crime. Now you see, my friends, what are the problems in controlling the organized crime? One is inadequate legal structure. Friends, when you consider, when I have said you different types of organized crime, you might have seen money laundering, you might have seen environmental, organ trafficking, all these. And my friends, you know that police, okay, or policing is a subject which is in the state part of our constitution. And it makes hard for our country like India to maintain a holistic or a uniform nature of controlling organized crime within our country. Okay, so what happened? Some states have their own organized crime controlling, what you say, legal provisions, such as Maharashtra order on organized crime, even Haryana has, even Punjab has. Okay, but some other states do not have such laws. And what happens? The coordination between states is also hard. So this is at state level. When you go at the national level, you have different agencies. For example, you have Narcotics Control Bureau, NCB, Narcotics Control Bureau, which is exclusively dealing with the organized crime in the narcotics. Okay, but sometimes even narcotics are caught by Customs Department. Okay, at transboundary level. And these two are very separate bodies and they do not interact. And even, my friends, when you see, to operate this organized crime, you need money. How do you get that money? Even Economic Intelligence Unit, Egmont groups, these group track, even for a Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. Okay, under Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, what is the body you are having, or what powers, like Income Tax Department? All these departments are separate, but the organized crime includes all these operations, layering, money laundering, drug, they are all interrelated. But these institutions are not interrelated. So what happens? Because of this non-interrelation or non-interaction between these groups, it is very hard to destroy or track the organized crime in India. So that's why we have been pushing for NAD grid. Okay, National Intelligence Grid. But still, my friends, National Intelligence Grid, the objective was to fight terrorism. So we need a separate layering, because as I said you, organized crime and terrorism, though they are interrelated, there is also a point when they operate separately, they operate in tandem, when there is no separation. So even when you see only terrorism, you have to separate the terms of organized crime in the NAD grid, and this should be in a scientific manner, and it should also have a statutory backing to solve the issue. So this is how you have to solve the pattern of organized crime in India. Now again I am going to the legal structure. Because of these all structures, the existing laws are not hard enough or strong enough to fight these organized crimes. Okay, conspiracies are hatched in the darkness, and providing them with a court of law is Herculean task. That is what, when you catch a lower level person, you can't make him say the answer in the court what he has concluded in the police station. He might turn his head, sir. Okay, so this is what happens. Being a counting conspiracy, the incidents of organized crimes are dealt under the general conspiracy law, relevant special acts. There are several difficulties in combating organized crime. First of all, India does not have a special law. that is a national level organized crime control law is very necessary for now. So next is difficulty in obtaining proof. Okay, so even if you catch the lowest level person, you can't get information. Most of the organized crime performing people at ground level, they do not know who is their operator, who is their owner. Okay, they do not know who is their owner or operator, and as I said you, they might turn their heads in the court when you are asked to say the answer. Informers are not willing to come forward and some kind of stigma is attached of being informant. The witnesses are not willing to depose of the fear of their lives, and there is no law provided to protect the witness against the organized gangs. Like example, we have a whistleblower act where you can, a whistleblower will be protected when he has been whistleblowing against the corruption conducted by a public servant. But there is no such law in the case of organized crime to protect the witness. It may be possible to have actual perpetrators of crime convicted, but it is difficult to go beyond them in the hierarchy, as I told you. So this is what happens. Next thing is lack of resources and training. As I told you, there are various intelligence agencies in India. They lack a lot of research and infrastructure. But in the first class, I have explained you that the organized crime is very resilient, very forward, and it accepts in technology very faster when compared to the intelligence agencies which are present in India, which lack financial support most of the time. The number of police personnel posted in police station is inadequate. Hardly any training facilities exist. Okay, even if you see the case in most of the Indian states where they have cyber cells, the most of the work is outsourced from other software companies. Okay, the police are state subject. Investigation of cases, their prosecution and setting up criminal courts is responsibility of state government. Most of the states face resource crunch, and they look after the center to provide this support. And as I told you, there is lack of coordination between various intelligence groups, and I have explained you that terms. That is this lack of coordination in collection, collate and information sharing within India. Central forces do not share it with state, and state do not share it with center. And sometimes what happens, where the crime happens in state and they want to conclude the crime by going towards other states, the state government may not be happily willing to send the police force to other states to investigate the true nature or the starting point of the crime. Next is criminal, political and bureaucratic nexus. As we have seen in the first class, these organized crimes, to survive, they continuously give bribery and give financial and non-financial benefits to our bureaucrats, to political nexus, so that they go on surviving and doing this crime. So because of this nexus, the true identity of the people in the organized crime section will not come out so easily. Okay, in certain states like Bihar, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, these gangs enjoy the patronage of local level politicians cutting across party lines, and even you see, my friends, local people also support, especially in the states like Bihar. See, mafias, armed smuggling, drug peddlers, economic lobbyists in the country over the years developed an extensive network of contacts with bureaucrats, government functionaries, politicians, media persons, democratically elected individuals at local level. Next is the dual criminality. What exactly is this dual criminality? You see, the crime syndicates do not respect the national boundaries. Okay, what happens, as I told you, organized crime goes beyond our national boundaries. Somewhere the act takes place, or somewhere the planning takes place, and execution happens in some other country. So that crime which has been conducted on our homeland might be considered crime, but that incident which is conducted in our homeland will not be considered as a crime in other country. So what happened, that inter-country exchange will not be possible to easily solve this case. So that's why you see, my friends, most of these organized gangs settle in those countries where the laws are favorable for them. Okay, especially in Central American regions, where the laws are not very strong, these groups have their safe havens. Particularly, drug trafficking are planned in one part of the country and executed in other country. Different nations have different legal structures. So this is what called dual criminality. I always say you, my friends, please note down such new terms. Please note down, because they are very important so that your answer looks beautiful and sophisticated. Sometimes your answer need to look sophisticated, my friends, so that the faculty who is collecting that thinks that, okay, this person has done enough hard work and he knows what exactly to deal with this issue. Next, the technological sophistication. As I told you, organized crime people are very, very resilient. They take in the technology very easily, and because of the rise in cryptocurrency technology, the money laundering has become very easily, and weakness in financial system, black money, hawala money, all these have been doing the issue. What is the legal position of this organized crime in India? There is no single law which deals with the organized crime, and organized crime has never been defined in any law in a very well fashion. Okay, not been defined in a very well fashion. But the organized crime is not new in India. It has been existing since time known for us. Okay, even pre-independence, now even the post-independent is going on in work. And you see, the organized crime, as I said you, it is an urban phenomena, and I said you there is no specific law. Now coming back, as I told you, the organized crime, not all states have been dealing with this organized crime law. Few states have their own laws, and in that I can say you the major states are Maharashtra. It was the first state to launch a law, and it has been able to crush down the organized crime. And next is Delhi, UP, and very recently Haryana in the year 2019, which has become very controversial because they thought the power which are given to the police are extreme and they are going beyond the statutory rights. Organized crime in India is predominantly the urban phenomena. So various provisions have been provided in the Indian Penal Code and various other acts to deal with this organized crime. So let me go with one on one. Okay, try to remember few of the names because you need not to remember the whole definition. I am giving you the definition so that you have a crisp knowledge. The first Indian Penal Code Act which deals with it is criminal conspiracy. The term criminal conspiracy, which is defined in the section 120A of the Indian Penal Code, and section 120B deals with the punishment which is related to the criminal conspiracy. So criminal conspiracy, the term which has been divided in IPC, has close relation with the organized crime. The definition goes like this: when two or more persons agree to do or cause to be done, okay, they agree to do something which is illegal or an act which is not illegal. By illegal means, such an agreement is designed as criminal conspiracy. That is, they want to commit a crime, they want to do something, okay, by something that is illegal or something that is legal, but in an illegal way. In an illegal way, that is called criminal conspiracy, provided that no agreement except an agreement to commit an offence shall be amount to a criminal conspiracy unless some act besides the agreement is done by one or more parties, such agreement in pursuance thereof merely incidental to that object. And section 120B of Indian Penal Code provides for the punishment for this criminal conspiracy. Okay, they just want to commit, there is no money transaction happening in between those people. Next is dacoity and related offences. Dacoity is one of the oldest form of offence, my friends, in India, which is section 331 of the Penal Code deals with dacoity. So basic purpose of dacoity, the term which is very frequently used, is nothing but looting the people, looting or extortion. Okay, in dacoity, my friends, there is a basic difference between dacoity and criminal conspiracy. In dacoity, what happens is 5 or more people, the numbers are very important, 5 or more persons conjointly commit or attempt, they commit or try to commit a robbery, or where the whole number of persons conjointly committing or attempting to commit a robbery and person present and aiding such commission or attempt amount to 5 or more, every person committing or attempting or aiding is said to commit dacoity. That is, either you commit, either you are helping them to commit, either you plan to commit such a thing, then that is called dacoity. So dacoity is dealt with various provisions. It might lead to a life imprisonment or rigorous imprisonment for 10 years and 5 months under section 395. Criminal is preparation to commit dacoity 399. Assembly for the purpose of committing dacoity 402. Section 400 of the code criminalizes the act of belonging to the gang of persons associated for the purpose of habitually committing dacoity. Kidnapping for ransom is section 364A. So these many IPC sections have been dealt. And next, there are also some provisions or some acts in India which try to prevent at the initial stage. Two such acts I will be discussing here. One is National Security Act of 1980, which is considered very draconian because of its nature. What exactly does this National Security Act? I have provided here National Security Act 1980, my friends. What happens, one person can be arrested or detained for almost 1 year without even allowing him to have a lawyer to defend himself. Even he is not allowed to go to the court. He is only able to allow to approach the High Court without any lawyer where they will consider, that's it. So the detention order is issued for 1 year with a view to preventing a person from acting in any manner prejudicial to defense of India or friendly relation with foreign powers. The detention has been approved by advisory board headed by the serving High Court judge. The expression security of India is very liberal. So it has been misused sometimes, okay. Has been used though sparingly against the anti-national elements. But here we can say against anti-social elements we can easily use this act. Detention is executive action and the case does not go to the court for trial. It never goes to the court. It can be done by central government or the state government or any officer who has been designated to do such an action by the government of state or government of India. So next act which tries to prevent such an organized crimes to happen is Prevention of Illegal Trafficking in Narcotic Drugs and Psychometric Substances Act 1988, which provides, you see, this act also provides for detention of persons who have committed such a crime so that he is detained and he will not commit such crimes in the future. Okay, it is designated by central government or state government or any person who has been given the order. The person can be detained for almost 1 year, but in certain cases or circumstances he can be even detained for extended 2 years. So in a total a person can be detained for 3 years, okay, but he can challenge it in the High Court. So some other laws which are dealing with this organized crime I can say are Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985, Customs Act 1962, the Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act 1956, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1973, Public Gambling Act 1867. Besides these also, my friends, there are various state government based acts which deal with the organized crime. Okay. Next. Thus, India has laws and scattered in various statutes to deal with the various facets of organized crime. The existing laws, however, drastically fall short of the requirements to curb the menace. So there are many laws, but not at one place, they are scattered. The government of India is conscious of this and has drafted Organized Crime Control Act, where it has been trying to define the term organized criminal gang in a very comprehensive manner, but this act was not passed in the later times. And even Supreme Court has looked into the organized crime in India and has given some of its suggestions. It said, recently directed the central government to look up to form an organized crime investigation agency. This can be a positive step in combating organized crime. So let us also, you see, my friends, I have taught you in various classes about the various intelligence agencies in India. When you see the various intelligence agencies like NIA, you see, okay, NIA, National Investigation Agency, it deals with one type of organized crime, I can say, that is counterfeiting currency. Okay. I have also thought about various other agencies like Narcotics Control Bureau. I have even taught you about Economic Intelligence Agency, Directorate of Intelligence, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, DRI. Okay, where Directorate of Revenue Intelligence deals with various issues which are led with the income tax, okay, income tax or the money laundering issues it deals with. So, such an institutions also you need to mention while you are writing in your answer, okay. Next, at international level, my friends, to deal with organized crime, United Nations Organization for Drugs and Crime, United Nations Organization for Drugs and Crime has been taking up several initiatives and is consistently pressing the countries at the international arena to form an holistically based laws so that they can deal with this organized crime, as they even have recognized that organized crime has its relation with terrorism at a larger scale. Okay, even USA has been fighting for that. Even they have their own law, home laws. So, when based on the international effort, the first action these United Nations had taken up is United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime is the first convention. Under this convention, you have three protocols which are to be noted. Okay, the first protocol is protocol to prevent, suppress and punish trafficking in persons, especially women and children. It is also called Palermo Protocol. Palermo is a place in Spain where it was formed. The protocol against smuggling of migrants by land, sea and air. The protocol against illicit manufacturing of trafficking of firearms, parts, components and ammunitions are the three different protocols, and any country who want to join this convention must become party to the convention itself before they can become party to the protocols. First they need to join this, then only they can join the protocols. Luckily India had signed all the three protocols within the resolution or within the convention. So, this is resolution 240, resolution 2482. Even from time to time, United Nations have brought various resolutions, my friend, wherein those resolutions we have been speaking about the organized crime. So, United Nations Security Council resolution 2195 in 2014 urged for international action to break the linkages between terrorism and transnational organized crime and called upon states for better understanding and addressing this phenomena. And next, in the year 2019, my friends, the Security Council again adopted a resolution 2482. Okay, remember these resolutions, my friends, these are very important. 2482, resolution 2482, which urged the member states to address linkages between terrorism and organized crime by adopting policy measures. So, under this resolution, my friend, they have given few recommendations. Okay, they asked to take measures in following: ratifying recent legal instruments, including the Global Counter-Terrorism Instruments, the Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime and International Drug Control Conventions. So, they are asking countries, please do these things and try to fight money laundering especially, okay, and corruption by firming the Financial Intelligence Unit, which is under Ministry of Economic Affairs Department, it is inside that, okay. Next is follow the relevant United Nations instruments and resolution, also working close with the Financial Action Task Force, which we have learned in the purpose of international relations and money laundering issue, as well as building public-private partnerships so that they can be easily found out. So, you can see that we need to also include the Financial Action Task Force in solving the issue. So, again, the strengthening border security and international coordination, for example, by collecting and analyzing API and PNR passenger data, implementing the comprehensive response to drug demand and illicit drug trafficking, improving the prison management so that we are preventing the radicalization to violence and recidivism. Okay, developing strategies, incorporating whole of society approach, that is, we have to include the civil society to tackle this base of organized crime, prevent counter violent extremism. So my friends, this is the resolution 24I2, which is very important. Please try to reflect these points in your exam, which are very important to gain good marks. When compared to Indian scenario, I would also like to explain here before I end this class. In Indian scenario, where this organized crime and terrorism work in tandem, especially you can see that in the northeastern region, extortion is the fundamental basis of funding these northeast insurgent groups, and in addition they do kidnapping, human trafficking, drugs from the Golden Triangle region basically, and in Jammu and Kashmir it is basically the counterfeited currency which is a major source of funding terrorism in that, for pelting of stones. In Maoist terror movements, extortion is yet a commonplace, and they have also indulged in robberies of banks to fund their movement in the Maoist insurgent areas or the red corridor areas. So in Indian Mujahideen also does the same thing, organized crime, and number of insurgent groups which are over a period, they did not have any organized crime, now they are entering into the organized crime. So you see, the base of insurgency or ideology is dying day by day. What began as an ideology movement is now merely a means of generating profit. This is especially in the case of groups in northeastern India. Now the ideology is dead because the government is doing such a good measures in the northeast regions by creating Ministry of Northeast region, okay, by providing non-lapsable funds for the development of northeast region. Now these groups have become very threat to the basic people in that region, rather than they are not opposing government, but they are opposing that groups itself. Now, as I told you, we need to also talk about the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Okay, Office on Drugs and Crime. So it was established in the year 1997, and it was named as United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime in the year 2002. It acts as the Office of Drugs Control and Crime Prevention by combating United Nations International Drugs Control Program and Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice Division of United Nations, which is at Vietnam. Okay, this is very important institution, my friends. So it has very different conventions in it. One is Single Convention Narcotic Drugs 1961, Convention on Psychotropic Substances 1971, United Nations Convention Against Illicit Trafficking of Psychotropic Drugs. So friends, these three, I have even told about them in the topic of Narcotics Control Bureau, okay, Narcotics Control Bureau, NCB. In that, India is a signatory to all these three conventions, and based on these conventions we have passed Narcotics, Drugs and Psychometric Substances Act 1985. If you are not able to see this, it is nothing but Narcotics Control and Narcotics, Drugs, I can say, Drugs and Psychotropic Drugs, okay, or Substances Act 1985. Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985, we have framed that. And this United Nations Office for Drugs and Crime releases a report which is called World Drug Report 2021. This is United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime which releases the report, and has highlighted that the lockdown, that is because of the COVID-19, what happened, there has been increase in the scenario or cases of drugs through online trade. By drugs, the report refers also, you see in this report, my friends, that is World Drug Report of 2021, the term drugs does not only include the harmful drugs such as cocaine or some other marijuana or all others, cannabis, those drugs, but it also includes those drugs which are used as medicine and they have been used for other purpose to create hallucinations or etc. The drugs, the report refers to substances controlled under International Drug Control Convention and their non-medicinal use. Rather than medicinal use, how they are using for non-medicinal use. When you compare the data analysis for the whole part of a decade, there has been increase in drug trade and also increase in intake of drugs by the youth. Opiates continue to account for the largest burden of disease, okay, A rise in the non-medicinal use of pharmaceutical drugs has also been observed in the whole decade, and especially during the time of coronavirus, where the people were not able to get the authentic drugs and they have been using medicinal drugs for non-medicinal purposes. Okay. So when you see the report, cannabis has been the more potent in the young people, which causes harmful. Cannabis is causing more and more harmful in the youth, and there is a rise in web-based sales and transformation. As I told you in the previous class also, and I would also tell you once again, it is because of use of dark web. Okay, dark web and cryptocurrency and easy to hiding way. Okay, one time mails, encrypted messages, all these have made it possible. This is cryptocurrency again. Okay, reasons for increase in drug use. How this, what is the purpose that in last decade we have seen 22% of increase according to the World Drugs Report? Because I am saying this report so that you could reflect the same report in your answer. The reasons are driven by technology. Sometimes it is cryptocurrency operating outside the regular financial system, have quickly recovered from the initial setbacks caused by the lockdown restrictions, and contactless drug transactions such as through emails, and research on chemicals, advertising the custom synthesis. Okay, how you can customize or how you can make your own drug by using the basic medicines which are available in the medical shops nearby you. So what does this report suggest? How to reduce these increase in the intake of drugs by the people? So it suggested combat the misinformation on the impact use of cannabis products is crucial. Okay. So sometimes what happens, the people were giving misinformation that cannabis is very healthy, you have to eat it, you have to consume it. But such misinformation should be tackled, and you have to raise awareness rising and communication efforts, how these drugs intake could cause unhealth in the people. Increase the capacity of law enforcement agencies as it is recommended by UN Security Council also. Joint response by government and private sector in controlling drugs and removing advertisement and listing illegal drugs. Continuously update the scientific standards also to keep abreast of acceleration of internet based services, so that your security forces are ready to deal with the dynamic nature of this organized crime. My friends, here we are to end the topic of organized crime. I hope you have understood the whole crisp and the nature of organized crime and linkages between organized crime and terrorism. Hope you will try to reflect all the points regarding United Nations conventions, resolutions, even the UNODC report on World Drug Report 2021. Try to reflect the latest points, which include that increase in drug, opioid based deaths, or cannabis being the largest. Okay, even the diagrammatical form. Try to draw a world map so that your answer looks beautiful. Try to also draw an India map to show where all the insurgent groups making what type of trade they in that region, because your presentation should be so good that the person should think twice he removes 1 mark from your answer. So my friends, I would like to end this topic here. So thank you for watching our video. This is Nikhil from Telugu One Academy. Thank you.